Alright, I've gone back to the original solid, or rather a copy of it. I'm just going to rebuild these two surfaces using a slightly different method. Assuming that, because it looks to me like this surface is curved, not just a ruled surface, so maybe the four-sided thing I did wasn't good enough. I think it probably was actually in this case, but let's assume it wasn't, and we're going to rebuild it in a slightly different way. How can we do it? I mean, there are lots of ways of doing this inside Keycreator. There really are. It's very powerful. I think I'll just use a curved mesh approach. So a couple of commands I tend to use. This one here, extract face data. You can extract flow lines and all sorts of stuff off a face, but flow lines are really useful. Actually, let's just change the colours a minute. Let's make it dark blue so it might show up a bit. Right, so extract. So I can basically pick a face. Okay. And then a position on the face like that, and that's extracted a curve. And then we can use that because that's a sort of a knife point, isn't it? Actually, I think we can use that. We should probably trim that beforehand. Let's maybe do that, and then I'll just work with this bit in the middle. That might be a good way of doing it. So I'm just going to do a break surface, in fact. So I'm going to break that face at that curve, so slightly different. So I've deleted it into, so I'm going to merge these two basically. So back to this command again. So I'm going to basically pick the face and then just pick some position on it, anywhere really, and it'll just create curves. And it's creating both the U and the V curves. Right, well, I'm really just interested in these ones across here, and I'm not sure, can never remember whether it's U or V, so that's why I tend to do them all. Well, let's try it. If I say U flow lines, I'm only doing the V. Let's just try and do that. So this time I'm picking on the end of the, okay, so I got it right. So pick the end. Okay, so it's going along there. Okay, so these are continuous curves, or rather they share a common point. I mean, they're not single curves. Okay, we could probably use them like that anyway, but there's another command. So I've just extracted UV lines there, but there's another command. Before we do that, let's delete some of these others. Going to get in the way, aren't they? Delete those. Right, and that one. Okay, so there's another command I use, which is this one here, chains splines. And if I pick two splines, or as many as I like, it builds a new spline. Actually, it's going to put it on this copy layer, which might get cluttered. Let's put it onto this new layer. So we're using this spline command, so I want to create a spline there, return, and while I'm in the command I want to create a spline from that bit and that bit, return, from that bit and that bit, return, that return, that return, and so on, yeah, return, and at the bottom that edge, return. And while I'm at it, I'm going to create a spline from that, return, and that, return. Why have I done that? Because if we now go into the level editor a minute, so we've created 9 curves. If I turn off the copy, you see I've got a bit of a grid of curves now. Yeah, which we've just created, which followed the geometry, and I can use that to create a surface. I can create a surface using curved mesh, and it asks for primary and secondary curve. So primary curve will have is that first one, primary curve number 2 is that, return, and it says okay, give me some secondary curves, and I'll go that one, that one, that one, and so on. Yeah, you can have as many primaries and secondaries. When you accept, there you go, it builds a surface. Bring that copy back. Now you can see by this pattern that you get here, that's quite a close match, because you know that's the sort of thing you get when they're pretty close to each other. So let's just turn off the unnamed a minute. Delete those 2 surfaces. I've already extracted them. I think I have, or maybe I didn't. Let's have a look. No, I didn't. Okay, so extract those 2 surfaces, or delete them rather. Delete that and that. Accept. So I've got a great big hole going through the thing now. Bring back that unnamed one, and that's the one we're going to try and stitch in, isn't it? So let's just do that, and then we'll finish, hopefully finish the command. So we'll do a stitch. What do you want to stitch? That lot. Stitching has formed a closed solid, so that's now a solid again, and we can use feature removal or whatever else we want to do. Let's just do a quick feature removal, see if it works. Modify solid face, remove that and that. There you go, done. Remove that. Yeah, so there you go. So it's a slightly different way to rebuild that surface, a bit longer, but it's probably a much closer follow to the original thing than the first way I did it in the other video. So anyway, hopefully that's of some use.